This is Callaway's state-of-the-art European headquarters that I had the privilege of being invited to. And in this video, I'm going to answer two big questions. Number one, from you guys in the comment section, what's in the bag? What clubs am I currently gaming? And number two, will getting clubs that are custom fit for my game now improve my golf? So in this video, I will take you guys through a what's in the bag, show you a full Tour Pro caliber fitting process at Callaway's state-of-the-art performance centre with Chris, Callaway's head fitter, along with showing you guys some of the key data, questions and information that you guys should be asking when you're going for a fitting yourselves. And then of course, show you the new Callaway clubs that I get fit for and see how much of a difference they make to my game. There is a lot of info in this video. I've tried to condense it down as much as possible because we're doing a full bag, putter all the way through to driver. If you'd like to see unedited versions of each section, drop a like on this video and I'll get it uploaded for you. My current putter is a tailor-made Spider, and the story behind this club is I needed a putter, went to American Golf and bought a putter. Completely randomly, no idea what I was doing. Okay, I'm just going to jump in. I promise my other club selections weren't as ridiculous as this one. I was using my dad's old Scotty Cameron, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't putt with it, so I went to American Golf and bought a mallet. All of the other clubs were done at a fitting just a very long time ago. Anyway, putter fitting. First things first, Chris wants to know about my current putter and my putting itself. My putting's quite good.
Yeah, okay.
According to the YouTube comments anyway, I always thought it was terrible, and then you guys are always really nice about my putting. But I guess I'm just very self-critical. But I'm really interested to see whether I've just got reasonable at putting with something that isn't very optimized for me. Okay. Or if I've somehow stumbled upon the perfect putter for myself, right, and it's not going to be.
Oh, let's see. Now's the moment of truth.
Let's have a look.
So, do you want to just hit a few for us? So there's 4 golf balls there.
Yep.
Do it. Give us 4 putts with your Spider.
I'm not sure how fast this Astro is going to run, but we can see.
It's a bit quick, a little bit quick. It's a tour average in here, so it's just over 12.
Oh, get me on the tour then. That's just gone straight in.
Do you have any goals when you're playing straight? Do you feel like you're trying to go back and through like a pendulum?
Sure.
Do you feel like you're trying to inside and open or anything?
No, so it's trying to be straight back along the line.
Okay.
Straight through along the line. It's trying to keep the same 1-to-1 tempo,
gotcha, depending
on the distance of the putt. So it will be 1-1.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go far, it'd still be 1-1.
Okay.
And as we were doing this, Chris was starting to pick up things about my putting.
So one thing I noticed is that putter, you do take it back quite neutral, but then the blade does try to open a little bit. And I've seen on a couple of them, you close it off a little bit. So you end up just going slightly outside the path. Then he measured where my eyes were over the ball and how good I was at aiming the face. So pretty good there.
Not bad.
So, yeah, you're not giving up the edge of the hole there, so that's pretty good.
And then we started to talk about something that will really help you guys, no matter what brand of putter you're playing, the style of the putter. And I don't mean mallet versus blade, although there is a little bit of a correlation with that. It is toe hang or toe flow, as Chris calls it, versus face balanced.
If we have a look where the TaylorMade is now, we don't actually putt like this, but just to look at how much that potentially so there's quite a bit on there. It's not like kind of down here, so we're not fully flowing. At the end of the day, you do have a mallet head, so it is going to be stable, but that slant neck on there, it's called, is just going to encourage a little bit of flow. Okay. If we change the neck, so if we go for our most popular model in that mallet section, what you'll notice there, sorry, just get that away from there, is that it's definitely a different angle, right? Yeah, it naturally so what that will do is stay a bit square through the hitting area, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't have any toe flow on that. So we would call that a face balance putter. Sure. Now this is ideal on paper, also we're going to do some testing, but ideally a golfer that is taking the putter head straight back and straight through without manipulating the face would usually benefit from that kind of neck. So then Chris gave me 2 different putters with the exact same head, an Odyssey 7, and the exact same shaft length, but with a different neck style in order to change the balance. This already, did you see how that rolled line over line over line? Yeah. This already feels like I'm no longer fighting the club. Okay. It's just going back. So you were fighting before, okay, nice. It's just going back straight and just going through straight, whereas before I felt like it was trying to do this, and I'm trying to hold it out. That was a good putt. I just lined to a prong. You've tried the same head, same length, just with 2 different necks. Have you noticed any difference in any of these at all? This one feels like it wants to come inside a little bit more. Okay. Is that right? What I've noticed from stride, I didn't see too much in path or change in the head, but you were hitting it out the heel predominantly. Okay. So you've got a slant neck and you were predominantly toe striking with the slant neck with that extra flow. Then we tried crank hosel, which is kind of the middle ground.
Sure.
And that was coming out the middle nice and straight away. You said you're not fighting it, and we saw some really good quality putts there.
Yep.
And then
this one feels like it's coming here.
And then,
and
yeah, for some reason on that one, just heel strike. So it may be that it feels like it wants to jump inside.
Yep.
So then for you to get back to square, it's providing a bit more of a challenge, and the heel's arriving at the ball first. So it didn't take me long to find the perfect neck shape. But coming into this, I didn't even know what it did. And it was so pivotal to me getting a putter suited to me. And once we'd done that, we took that neck style and tried out different lengths of putters, but quickly found that it was just throwing me off well too much and stuck with my 34-inch length that I had already. So now that we have the perfect neck style and length, we needed the perfect head type: mallet, blade, or a double wide, which kind of sits in the middle. And we tried all of them across the spectrum and found that the further we moved from mallet towards blade, the more spinny my putts became, which isn't a good thing. So I don't know if you noticed, we're using those triple track lines that end over end.
Yeah.
We're not getting as good a quality roll there. The ball is
Correct.
hopping straight away off the face.
Yeah.
And then it is on a different axis, and now we're seeing those lines on the ball start to turn the other side.
Yeah.
So what that means is that there's just too much spin on that ball. We want that golf ball to come up off the blade of the putter. We want it to start rolling forward, and we want top spin straight away.
Yeah.
That is the idea of a well-fit putter.
Okay.
So we've gradually there just done a bit of testing, blade versus mallet versus a kind of mid-mallet. We can see so far that a full mallet works really well for you. So you've definitely got the right style of head currently. Just think a neck update would be quite good for you.
Sure.
Crank hosel.
So we're basically set. We know I need a mallet with a crank hosel neck at 34-inch shaft length. And then we just needed to see which mallet, which head do I prefer. And at this point, it is basically just personal preference. We tried a couple of them, a jailbird, the 2-ball, and I ended up settling on the Odyssey 7 as my personal preference. It's going in the hole, but I think I prefer the very first one.
Did you notice how this one here as well, when you go to about halfway, it just run out of speed a little bit. So it kind of jumped off the face, settled down, and then started rolling. But it wasn't exactly a quick roll. It actually started to sort of really run out of gas as it got towards the hole. So let's try one more model here. We're going to try AO1 milled, so we're going to change the face real quick. I love the number 7 shape for you. We're going to try a new insert now. So this putter here has our AI1 insert. So that's a urethane insert there. This is a titanium.
Okay, now we're really getting nerdy. This is the stuff I like. So, also, just to avoid confusion, Chris is showing the urethane insert on a jailbird just because that was the last putter that I tried before settling on the Odyssey 7. The copper-coloured titanium insert is what we're testing it on the Odyssey 7 against the urethane one on the Odyssey 7.
Is the face there?
What is the difference other than the material?
It really is just the material. We've got slightly different mapping on the back of these as well. These are AI putters. They are, so we basically engineer them using artificial intelligence. We capture data from golfers, from more traditional style players, to somebody who's looking for a little more technology in their putter, and we map out exactly where those putts are coming out of from those fittings, and then we generate the faces around it. So it's very, very cool. So what is this one going to do differently to that one? Well, we don't know yet because we haven't hit it. Okay, so it varies player to player? It will do, absolutely. Okay, every single putt here will vary player to player. Sure. I don't want to lead you down anything and say you're going to feel anything, because if you don't, you may even say, yeah, I do, yeah. It becomes a placebo effect. Yeah, because you might say, well, he told me I should feel that, so I feel that. It becomes suggestive. So I just let you know, right? And as I was testing the titanium face insert, we found that for me, it rolled so nicely. That was a nice roll. That was lovely. That was very end over end. But just to double check, we went back and hit the Odyssey 7 with the urethane face as well. Let's try it. Let's go back into the standard insert. So I definitely heard a bit more of a click then. It's interesting you said it felt softer, because there's a little bit more click that usually reports a bit firmer feedback. Okay. But if that's feeling soft to you, then awesome. Maybe I'm just using the wrong word for a different feel. Is your red my red? Exactly. Sorry, that was well too hard. There's a remarkable difference in the quality of the roll. This other one feels much nicer. Is it? I don't know if you're noticing that off the... Well, now we've hit both inserts, now it's sort of feel feedback time, because I know that you've got the same head in play with the same neck at the same length, so it comes down to feel now. Which one do you feel has got the better roll on the ball? That one. Okay. We're in agreement. Would you agree? Absolutely. I think they're very close. It's probably 2 or 3% in it for me, which is, it's a little bit nitpicking, but that's what we need to do in this environment, because if we do all that work in here, then you go out on the golf course and have fun.
So we quickly switched back just to triple check and realised we definitely found my perfect putter.
That's a nice putt. So really, what we're doing here is updating the head shape and style and the neck of this putter. So keeping the same length, we're just going to put the crank hosel neck on and moving into number 7 in our milled section with our titanium insert there. So you're moving away from that kind of plastic insert to titanium. So a little bit more feedback on that. Very nice.
Lovely.
Happy days.
Is that job done?
Job done, pal.
Putters sorted. Now, I could have stayed there hitting putts all day, but we've got a lot more stuff to do. We need irons and we need a driver. So, irons. What have I got? These currently are Ping G425s. This is 7 iron. We've just got 172 yards of carry with 16 yards of fade. I centered 21 yards offline. So something I'm really interested in, which I really struggle with, is I got fit for these clubs 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and they are not suited, as far as I'm aware, to my current level of golf. I was very bad at golf when I got these clubs. Okay, this is the one I think is going to make the biggest difference to my game. So I carried on warming up, hitting some balls, and talked Chris through my current clubs. The fact that the ball goes well too high. The fact that I'm not really looking for distance. I can hit the ball plenty far enough already. I want a narrower dispersion and a smaller miss. And the fact that even I, as a novice layman, I'm pretty sure these clubs are completely wrong for me because they're game improvement heads with regular flex shafts. And I even had the lie angle adjusted, which is something I was very curious about. So then, talking about that, Chris.
Yeah.
The lie angle. This is where, even when I was talking to Rob, we was getting confused. So you've got the actual degrees of loft of the club is how angled the face is.
So yeah.
And then you've got lie angle is if the toe comes up or goes down.
Yeah.
So obviously that one's self-explanatory. A pitching wedge has more loft than a 5 iron. It goes higher in the air.
Yeah.
What does this one do?
So lie angle really influences turf interaction. So let's say if somebody's irons are bent too flat, so toe right down, let's guess which part of the club's going to hit the ground first.
Okay, and then it's going to
and same the other way around. So we get a lot of golfers, especially with wedges, we get a lot of people playing way too much heel engagement. So they'll get heel into the ground, shut, they'll hit a thin shot, and the ball goes at chest height.
Sounds exactly like me.
So, yeah, my golf too. It influences the start direction of the ball as well. So sort of the really most important thing, real crunchy numbers of golf, is how it's interacting with the ground, and also where the club face is pointing. Number one, at address, so the golfer looks confident with it. If they've got a club looking like that, they're thinking, well, I like to hit a fade, that's going to go left on me. So there's psychological things in there as well, but also just the start direction. If we put the toe of the club down too much or up too much, it will influence the start line. We used to have these things, but way back in days, training aids where you put a magnet on the face and we'd be able to show people, if you move it just slightly along and then you change the lie angle, you can change the start direction by, within a yard of the club face, you can move it an entire foot. So if you're going to hit it 175, but 1 foot is already off, on the face, if you then times that by 175,
that's where
like even from 1 yard, then you're going to hit it all over the place. So length and lie work really nicely together. You don't affect the length of the club when you affect the lie, but when you affect the length, the lie angle will change. There's a kind of an old rule in golf that if you make the club half an inch longer, it will play like it is 1 degree upright. So everybody will follow that sort of ethos there. But again, player dependent, so we check it every single time. So what I like to do is, regardless of what you've been fit into, I don't want to just say, right, that's your length, that's gospel. Let's restart the process again with the Callaway club in hand. This is our AI smoke iron. I'm going to get it hit straight away. And I've matched the weight of your club as well. So we're not going to try and fix it all in one go. Let's get the length and lie dialed. Then we'll try some different products, and then we're going to try some shafts. So
sounds good.
There's our starting point.
Lovely.
So club number 1, going in.
Well, it's gone a lot straighter straight away.
Yeah, a bit further as well.
193 with a 7.
That's carry
How
as well.
much wind has this got? And what elevation are we at?
There it is, 0, 0.
0, 0.
Yeah.
That is the main thing that people are going to comment. If I hit a driver 300 or something, oh, they've got the wind on 30 miles an hour. I'm not here to make my clubs go further. So just know if whatever the numbers are correct. I don't want my clubs to go further. I don't need them to go further. I need them to go where I'm bloody aiming or where I want them to, is my problem.
We actually don't even have on these units. We don't have the ability to change wind or
elevation. Do you not know?
So
it's just the classic YouTube comment, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I hit away with the AI smoke irons, and we immediately confirmed that I was probably right about the shafts, but Chris is very methodical about the way he does the fitting.
So I'm going to try the club ever so slightly longer. So I'm just going to try add a touch to that.
Sure.
Just looking at your club head speed as well as we're going. So you've hit 9 shots so far, and you're swinging at 94 miles an hour.
Okay.
PGA Tour average is 93, so you're just a little bit past the tour.
Okay.
So just pump your tyres a little bit there.
Yeah.
So and at the moment you're using a regular flex shaft.
Okay.
So we don't like to pigeonhole people too much. We don't like to go, oh, that's your speed, that's your shaft. Mm-hmm. But I would guarantee, from a gambling man, you're going to be walking away with slightly different shafts than you're in right now. So, everything it looks like on your current clubs is geared towards elevation. So light shafts, slightly longer, with a more game improvement head, designed to get the ball in the air for a golfer that needs it. Yep. If somebody's hitting 1 degree down on the ball at 94 miles an hour, probably doesn't need the assistance built into that. Okay. So I would imagine we're going to go into sort of a new area here today. So that's good. Just made that club slightly longer. No changes too much yet. Just a quick length change. Nice ball.
It's going down the line.
Mm-hmm. You'll notice what we're doing here is using the same shaft and the same head for all of this, right? So
correct.
I like to remove the variables and let's get you into the right length and lie, and then we can go test.
And once we got that sorted, we could start testing some different heads before moving on to the shafts, but we get the head sorted first. So this is me hitting some shots with the AI 200s.
That's a nice ball. We'll call that one in the middle, shall we?
As perfect as you could possibly get. If you want to get a picture of that red dot, Rob, we'll use that one for the thumbnail. It's pretty good.
Nice ball there. Nice ball.
We're getting into the swing of things. This is good. Instantly, just as an absolute novice layman, I'm looking at the numbers and being like, oh, they've got a lot more similar.
That was a great golf shot, that was.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say that was a bit picky. That was the bottom grooves.
Tiny bit low on the face, but not a huge give up there.
I like that I can feel it. That's given me a level of confidence in my own golf.
So you've gone from AI Smoke is a forged body, but we've got a cast face on there. AI 200, this is a fully forged club. So a little feel might return here a little bit here. Nice ball. Now we're going to try Apex Pro, right? So we're going to come down in head size slightly. So AI 200, we're going to weaken the loft off a little bit going to Apex Pro. I'm going to go from 30 degrees to 33 here.
It's like a pinhead with the face of this club now, compared to my ones. It's a good shot.
1.6 yards off that centre line there.
Nice.
We'll give you that.
So you guys actually have the PGA, DPL Tour, Live Tour with Jon, I guess. They come here.
I do.
To test their clubs.
Yeah, we'll have Jon Rahm does come over most years with his parents, but they'll come in the room. We'll test, we'll prototype with different players, especially in the off season when it's cold outside. But majority, I would say most of the players, is during tournament season. It's kind of as they get going, as the season starts up in Dubai now, in January. That's a great place for them to go test.
So that's 1 yard offline and 0.3 yards offline.
Yeah.
You see the pros test. That's obviously ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I can't do that all the time. But then the pros can't do that all the time. So then when we were talking putters before, it's confidence in your own golf. What sort of dispersion range would you see for a professional golfer, like an actual top-level PGA player hitting these clubs?
Depends on what they're looking for, really. I mean, they'll be able to drop it within 3 feet, I would say, when they're on their game. But it depends what sort of flight they're looking for as well. You know, some of the guys out there don't want to hit the ball straight. You know, they want to start it and move it at least, 10, 15 yards. So, sounds a bit of a boring answer, but it is dependent on what they want, right?
That's another really good shot as well, by the way. Holy, my God. 0.1 we're down.
Getting closer, eh?
Yeah. We are...
So let's talk dispersion for a second.
Sure.
You've hit quite a few balls in, so let's just have a look at flight-wise. I put it up a second ago. what I'm looking at is this screen here. So let's just take Apex Pro and compare it to your current iron. So you can see dispersion-wise. So for some reason that's not, there we go. So there is your current iron in red.
Correct.
And then there is Apex Pro. So if you were my playing partner in a match, and you said to me, well, if we want to get the win today, what should we use? For me, all day. Yes. I want you in that one. Now, if I just show you, if we take your current iron out, we'll just do a side-by-side of everything you've tried. So let's put AI 200 in there. So AI 200 is a little bit larger, definitely an improvement on your current, but AI 2 is slightly larger dispersion than Pro, and then AI Smoke in standard, which was this one here, it's just slightly larger. So you can see versus those 3 products, so all of those have got the Callaway logo on. But as you can see, we're designing for a lot of different golfers. Now, you swing in at 94 miles an hour, now hitting 2 or 3 down on the ball. I'd rather have you in a slightly smaller head, especially with the journey you want to go on. You want to get down into those single digits. That would be the iron more lent towards that for your angle of attack and your speed. Like we were saying before, it's not, with an iron, we haven't even discussed distance yet. It's not a huge part of it for us. It's more about scoreability. The key to lower scores is shorter putts. So if we can get you to hit it tighter, you're going to have more fun out there. You're going to have less shots per round. And just enjoy the game. That's what it's all about, right? And for you, it looks like Apex Pro right now is the absolute winner. Real night and day versus the other products there.
It's absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you.
So yeah, I'm very impressed by that. We don't see that often, so I'm very impressed by that.
First of all, go me. I was so gassed. I was really trying so hard to contain my childlike excitement in that video, but I was actually so proud of myself. But we've seen how much difference it can make having clubs that are custom fit to you. That the difference is ridiculous on them red lines versus the blue lines. But we're about to talk about something that can help just as much and is completely free.
I was asking that question not to make myself look good, because that just does look ridiculous. probably couldn't do that again, although I did just do it 3 times in a row, but hey.
Yeah.
No, I was doing it because you talked about golf is a game of inches. Golf is not a game of perfect as well, is a very famous book by Bob Rotella.
One of the best book in the world,
Yeah, so everyone should go and read that book if you're watching this video, because you are watching this because you're a nerdy golfer like me. I was curious about what the pros do in order to contextualize our expectations to a reasonable thing. If you're standing 170 yards away and you've got a green that's 30 yards wide and you miss 20 yards left, so you're just off the green, that's actually quite a good shot.
That's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, but we'll hit it and go, oh my God, I'm not on the green, that's so annoying. Whereas you see Jon, Xander, Minwoo's, Callaway's, and he's got the highest ball speed, and you're like, oh, I want to hit it further. No, you want to hit it closer, but you also need to do it within reason, and you need to have actual realistic expectations.
Absolutely. Like, couldn't agree more.
The tour average for hitting a 7-9 onto the green is probably like, I don't know, I'm guessing 45% or something like that.
Yeah, just shy of 50. Yeah. I think what a lot of people, we didn't discuss it much with the tour guys in Odyssey as well, but you know, the average make percentage from a 10-foot putt is 53%. Yeah. So the best players in the world are missing almost half of the time from that putt you're hitting in there.
Which is why I was really, and then I had them unrealistic expectations of being annoyed at my own putting. And then everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, Andy, you're so good at putting. And I was like, am I? Because I really wind myself up for not holding putts. But then when you think about it properly, the best players in the world can't hold that putt and can't hit that green. So why are you getting annoyed at your own golf?
Exactly. It's supposed to be fun, right? We have quite a holistic approach to fitting here at Callaway. We just want to get people to enjoy the game. It's supposed to be fun. You know, we spend our hard-earned money on memberships, equipment, clothes to look good, golf bags, everything. It's supposed to be fun. So if people aren't enjoying it, then
And just to jump in, because there is going to be some smart arse in the comments, he says, but their greens are much harder to keep the ball on, they're harder. Their flags are tucked behind bunkers. Yes, I am aware the courses that the pros play are significantly more difficult than the one us mere mortals do. But even when they play normal courses, you see Rick Shields going and playing with tour pros. Wesley Bryan from Bryan Bros is on the PGA Tour and has guests like Jon Rahm and Akshay Bhatia and people like that on their channel. They don't hit every green when they're playing normal courses that we play, because golf's hard. So stop letting one bad shot annoy you, because you're just letting it impact your next shot as well. Anyway, back to the fitting. We need to talk about shafts.
So these all still regular flex?
we are jumping around.
We're jumping around now. Okay.
I haven't told you on purpose though.
No. It feels different though.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like my clubs, whereas the first one felt like I was swinging my clubs.
Cool. Yeah.
Just a better version of my clubs.
Yeah, we like to, don't introduce too many variables at once, like I was saying earlier, right? If I see your club head speed and go, right, well, look, you're playing extra stiff and you're playing, let's say, 120 grams. If we do that on the very first swing, the feel's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So just in terms of more on the empathy side, is let's give you a general gradual move towards the right club.
I guess it then takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one just felt like I was swinging the shaft on my clubs that I've used for the past 2 years.
Nice smooth transition.
Yeah, whereas this feels...
There's your pings, let's give you that version of Callaway, and then we go from there.
This feels a lot different.
Okay.
My current shaft is an 80 gram regular flex one. So Chris systematically worked me through loads of different stiffnesses and weights in order to hone in on what will be perfect for me. And we did eventually go too far in the other direction and start to negatively impact me again. So that's when we knew, dial it back, and we've already hit the sweet spot.
I'll kind of let you in on the journey we've been on. We started at 85 grams
okay.
with the very first one. Then we went to 95, then 105, then 120, 125, now we're at 130. So your current ones, I believe, are 80 grams. So this is a 50 grams. This is a significant weight advantage here. But we can see it's just getting you to hit the leading edge. Have you noticed that most of the shots, the leading edge catches the mat first? Yeah. And then it just kills the ball speed off. So we're down at 105. Okay. So let's jump back up to those mid-120s.
Go a little bit later.
We're going like 128 earlier. So 120 grams worked perfectly for you. Okay. We tried a couple of different manufacturers. We tried True Temper, Nippon, and Project X at that weight. What I like to do is once we found that right weight, and as you started hitting 120, hit 2 different shafts that were very good. So we just jumped in on that a little bit more. Found out that Nippon is much better for you. They use a flighted shaft. These are a little bit higher launching, but lower spinning. So they're actually doing the job for you right through. We tried Project X as well. You know, being a gambler man, if I was, I would say that, you know, Project X, knowing what they're known for, flight of the ball, getting a bit more spin on there, would have gone into that, but actually gone the other way. You were hitting that it's the highest shots you were hitting with Project X. So you flipped it on its head there. So it's good. You keep me on my toes this morning.
Person dependent or golfer dependent. It's not a fixed formula.
It sounds like a boring answer, because I do get a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, what's that going to do? We even had it next door, and I genuinely don't know. I'm not going to tell you that I know exactly what's about to happen. I know what that manufacturer has told me that should happen. Sure. But we need to test it.
Or not.
We need to test it, right? No, there's no swing on the planet alike, so we need to test. Great shot.
Okay, after a lot of whacking away, we've settled on the iron. So we've gone, like I showed you guys, Ping G425, absolutely massive here, really, really big face, and regular flex, very, very light shafts. Two, Chris.
So we're going into Apex Pro for you, pal. Okay. This is one of our most popular irons in the Pro Series. We tried a few different models with you, got to whack quite a few there. And we found that with your angle of attack, with your club head speed, all those things, Apex Pro worked very well for you. So we're going to go into a much smaller head. We're weakening the loft off, your top line, your blade length, everything. We're going to take quite a bit away from you there, apologies. We're at shaft wise as well. We're going to go from a very light regular. You're going into 120 gram in a motor shaft in extra stiff. So this is all about dispersion for you, right? Sure. We saw at the start how tight you're hitting those shots. This club is just going to deliver more greens hit for you. All about control at that point. Most importantly, we're just flattening the flight down a little bit and increasing the spin. Like I mentioned before, your ping irons spinning just shy of 5,000 RPM for a 7-iron, so we don't want to get that up a bit, but also with the size of that head, that's really designed for launch. You were getting the ball way up in the air with quite low spin, so it can be quite tough to judge in winds, getting the ball to sit down, that kind of stuff, so this will be much more of a precision club for you.
Lovely.
So, happy days and happy golf on that one, pal.
The size difference in that is insane. The entire club is the size of the grooved face of my old clubs, and then you've got the grooves inside, and the thickness, crazy. And we've got 2 shaft stiffnesses stiffer, and 40 grams heavier.
Jumped up a fair bit there.
Wow. So there will be ping clubs out there that would fit me, but these were not them.
Yeah, I mean, let's say if you had them for a couple of years, maybe, you know, the golfer you were then, it was doing the job for you. Yeah. But as you've got more efficient, like faster, steeper into the ball, it becomes more about control. So it just as you move on, your equipment needs will just change slightly as you go through. What we've noticed, you know, lie angle wise, there's not a lot of change. I've just made your club slightly shorter and slightly smaller. So not overly big changes in the kind of fitting spec of the club, but overall size, length, lie, that kind of stuff. Those things are changing quite a bit in terms of weight as well. So very good.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Cool.
Good stuff.
So let's do it all again with your driver, shall we?
Let's do it. When I was buying my clubs, I was using all of my dad's old clubs for the first month or so. I then ordered the irons, and I was recommended to wait a little bit to get a driver until I was slightly better at golf, because I couldn't hit it to save my life. I ended up just going for the one that matched my irons. So it's also a Ping G425. But we see with the irons, I went from regular to extra stiff. This one is at least stiff because I got slightly better at golf when I bought this one. I've cranked it down. It was 10.5 degrees. It goes so high, it is unbelievable, and I lose so much distance into the wind. It still flies fine, and it still will go 260, 270, but I've turned it down to 9 degrees just to try and bring it underneath the wind. So I'm very excited to see what Chris is going to say about this one, and hopefully save me some 3 off the tees and bring them scores down.
So I've been draining putts and striping irons all day. So naturally, as are the laws of golf, I couldn't hit a driver to save my life. But luckily, Chris could still pick some stuff up.
That's a better shot.
You're definitely right, though. We've got quite a bit of spin on this driver. Just the sort of loft you're presenting as well is quite high. So I know you've got a 10.5 lofted down.
Yeah.
What I will do is just open the face slightly as well.
So it's going to make me fade it
A little
off.
bit of a cut on there. So.
Which is why my miss is out of bounds right.
Is it really? Okay.
Which is why Formby Hall, basically every piss hole is out of bounds right.
So what we're going to do is just start off in a 9-degree head. I'm going to learn the lesson from the loft there. We've definitely got quite a bit of spin coming in. So okay. Let's straight away drop your loft down. Loft equals spin, so let's just get that off there straight away. And then we'll have a look at that shot shape on there as well. Because, yeah, that one, 47-yard cut on that one.
That is a lot of wasted energy.
It was 47 there, so you started it straight, but it's 47 yards off line with 47 yards of curve. So it was a perfectly straight shot from you. Face open, that's all it is.
Okay.
So it's a good sign when we see that. Nice ball.
Better.
Mm-hmm. Ball speed went from 148 average there. That first shot was 153.
Nice.
So more efficiency off the face. Again, looking at your clubhead speed, you know, you're swinging at 107, 108 miles an hour, so you're getting after the ball.
Okay.
So shaft again will become paramount, as it always is. You obviously need one.
Better.
Slightly higher off the face, but again, you actually hit
that
it further than
very
the one
high off the face.
So right out the gate, we're just using it as a testing shaft. So we've just gone 60 grams. It's a tiny bit heavier than your current one. In blue is your Ping driver, and then in green is the Smoke Max.
Bloody hell.
So straight away, we're gaining in all departments. So you can pretty much hit the golf course with that, but again, we're going to go through and test, right? We're going to look at some different head styles.
So I'm just going to jump in. So this video isn't just too biased fanboying over Callaway. The Ping G425 irons are great. They're not for me anymore, but if you are a higher handicap and looking for a really nice, easy club to use, I couldn't recommend them enough. They're absolutely brilliant. They're just not for me. They're not for my level of golf and swing speed anymore. And it's the same for the driver. In fact, the driver would still be fine for me now if it was spec'd in a way that was set up to my game. The one I have is an SFT, which is biased towards draw, which is fine, I guess. It's a 10.5 degree, and it's turned down to 9, and is a very light, stiff shaft, which just isn't suited to my game. So whilst I would never want to play the irons anymore, the driver, if it was spec to me, would be absolutely fine, but it isn't. And this AI Smoke Max is getting much closer to what I actually need. But we still did try some variants. We tried the AI Smoke Max D.
Okay, so let's go back into the standard model. That was the Max D there. That's our kind of
draw bias.
Yeah, draw bias model.
Which is their draw bias model, like the SFT one from Ping. And it made my shots so much more spinny and just beyond ridiculous, which again, maybe hints towards my Ping one just being completely wrong for me now.
Just notice with that head, you're just getting a bit more spin on the ball. So we've jumped up. We've gone from, I got you down to 2.6 in the Max model. We're over 4,000 there. So
oh my God.
If you needed spin up, then that's the one for you.
That's a good one. But
we're actively taking spin down for you. So let's go in another direction on that. Strike.
Better.
You get that 296.
Come around myself.
Golf shot.
Better.
2 in a row, same shot. You just hit that 307.
That went 307.
284
284 carry. Nice bit of rollout.
The average spin on your driver, that was saying it's about 3,000. That was 2,155.
Okay, that's good.
So now that we've decided the max is best for me, it's time to start testing shafts. And I'm just going to play you this clip. This is 2 shots back to back where Chris just changed the shaft in between.
Okay, let's go back to that previous shaft. We definitely had it there.
Better.
And then immediately it's 291 again. So
Yeah. So
we kind of know when we've got it, you know. We were hitting that before, and I was like, okay, the shaft we've tried. That thing there, best strikes up and down on the face, so northeast, southwest. But then when you can get 291 out of it there, that's the one we go with.
That's really good. Yeah. So this is extra stiff.
Yeah.
Is the 60 the weight? 60 grams?
60 is the weight.
Oh yeah, it says on the sticker there. So what was that one? That wasn't quite as...
So the one you tried a second ago, I'm really learning the lesson on Project X. So I tried you in a 60-gram shaft from them. Probably the worst out of the lot. So
which is what you...
We'll just learn the lesson. You don't like Project X.
And I just don't like Project X, apparently.
Nothing against them, you're just not a fan. So these shafts are Mitsubishi, right? So you're coming out of this Alta CB shaft, this ping shaft. I believe that was 55, yeah, so 55. So we're going upper flex and up 5 grams in the shaft there. So again, more stability. It's the same tail as the irons. It's building the stability in. But the good news in here is you're hitting the ball considerably further.
Yeah.
We're talking, 20 to 25 yards of carry gain on this driver, just by getting it to launch a little bit higher, but spin
less.
a good 900 RPM less. So
penetrating
flight.
Yeah. Come here saying I didn't want any distance, and we've lost a bit on the irons, but we've gained a bit on the driver.
So we're
probably
going
to play
out
the
pretty
same.
good here. Yeah, I'll have 7 or 8 off you on your 7 iron, but then I'll put 30 on your driver as well.
Yeah. So if I'm playing driver 8 iron, I'll still be playing driver 8 iron.
So that was pretty easy. The only thing left is bag makeup, and I'll spare you the footage of me trying to hit a 3-wood off the floor.
Perfectly.
Yeah. Not for me.
But Chris put one in the bag anyway, and then I asked for a 3 iron or a driving iron instead of a 3 hybrid or a 5-wood.
Nice. So I can hit that one.
Just looking at your angle of attack, I think over a 5-wood, I think an iron would be better for you, just given how well you're hitting the irons. 100%.
1.9 yards offline, 201 carry. I would take that any day of the week.
And then we went for a 50, 54 and 58 degree wedge instead of 52, 56, 60 that I currently have to hopefully make my gapping a lot better.
Chris, that has been
absolute pleasure, man.
Amazing. If you guys want any more info, comment down below, and I, with my novice advice, will try and answer as many of you guys as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Callaway. See you next week for another video.